Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video with me, Retro Reclaimer, where I am reclaiming my retro past. We got a slightly different video today, a video based on information on the Sega Dreamcast, which is my favourite go-to console and the one I enjoy collecting the most. So this information, I'm sort of putting a challenge out there to other collectors, probably more specifically collectors of this console itself. Information which I've gone and researched, which I'm sort of putting to you guys that you're probably unaware of. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I came across some anomalies in some of the games I've recently picked up. I'll just show you one first. So we've got a manual here for Toy Commander. Looking at it, it doesn't look or appear to be a fake, a reprint or anything like that. It's got good quality. And also for the Sega Dreamcast, there's absolutely no reason for anyone to reprint or, you know, put fake games out there. There's not a great deal of value in there. It's, you know, why focus on Toy Commander, which you can buy for, you know, £15, £10 and whatnot, when you can focus on NES games which can go for hundreds. So there's no sort of market for anyone to go through the effort of creating quality quality knockoffs, really. But if you go through this manual, you'll see the page numbers all are in line with the faults, and obviously here it says Sonic Adventure, Toy Commander, Sonic Adventure. So straight away, this bit's in English. It's just the one page, and it's just got the controls and stuff for Sonic Adventure. You can see Sonic Adventure written down the side. Finishing on page 16, then we go on to 17, it goes back into Toy Commander. And that's throughout the rest of the manual until it gets to other languages. Obviously this is a PAL region game. And then towards the end, page 64, and then we go to 65, Sonic Adventure again. And there's quite a few pages at the back on all the different characters and stuff. And I just thought it was really strange, like why is it in there? So I figured there must have been some sort of demo or something like that of Sonic Adventure on this game, but it turned out, you know, looking through it, there actually isn't. So it's quite strange, really. Whether it's an error due to when they were manufactured or anything like that, I'm not sure. If you do have Toy Commander in your collection, get it out, have a look at the manual and see if yours is the same, because it'll be interesting if mine's different. But I'd imagine that they'd all be the same, and it's just sort of some sort of error of some sort. Another anomaly I came across, so we've got Dead or Alive 2 here, and the case, again, why would anyone on God's planet create or recreate a Dreamcast case? They are. If you're going to recase your Dreamcast games, you're going to put them in CD cases. But as you can see, Dreamcast isn't written here on the side, nor is it embossed, is that the right word? We've got another example there. So we've got Dreamcast there, and it's just sort of moulded into the plastic. This one is just flat, and it's got no Dreamcast, whereas you can see the games in the background, they've got a black printed Dreamcast on. So the idea was to figure out, you know why. I love collecting for this console. I want to know more about it. Obviously through collecting and playing, and you know, you're learning stuff, and it's sort of part of the interest. So I headed over to Adam Koralick's channel, which I'm a big fan of. He's a huge YouTuber, and one of his, I think his favourite system is the Dreamcast, and he's done loads and loads of videos. And so I put a comment on one of his latest videos for his Keep Dreaming playlist, basically asking for advice on this and if he knew anything. And he got back to me saying he is unsure, really. So that sort of led to me thinking, if he doesn't know, many other tubers probably don't know. So I've gone about and gone to research this myself. So first of all, with what I've researched and information which you're probably unaware of, even if you're a big Dreamcast collector, I've got Sonic Adventure here, with a black labelled Dreamcast, and then we've got the product code here. So let me see if I can just zoom in on there. Okay, so we've got MK51 followed by 3 zeros and then ending in 53. So trying to find information on what that meant was so difficult. I had to to type in loads of different stuff on the internet and, you know, ask around and try and figure out, you know, how it all works. I know for PlayStation 1 and stuff like that, it's sort of game numbers. So I knew a little bit of information, but wasn't sure on exactly how this comes together. So what I learned was you've got either MK or T. So let me see if I can find one that's T. Here we go, perfect. So as you can see here, we've got MK and we've got T. So MK means that it's a Sega produced game. So it's a first party game for the console. I don't know what MK stands for. I'm guessing K is for Katana. Is it? I think the name of the console when it was being developed was Katana, and I'm sure that's where the K comes from. But other than that, I'm not sure. But MK basically means it's a Sega first party game, whereas T, standing for third, is a third party game for the console. The next few numbers that sort of follow, so you've got the numbers sort of in the middle. We've got 5-1 and then followed by 3 zeros. This is just the game number. The 5-1 is the same across all games that are developed by Sega. So you can see there 5-1-0-0-0. So Sonic Adventure being a release game and probably the first game that they were working on for the console. It's numbered as 0. House of the Dead here is numbered as 2, and I do have one. We'll just get it in the right order. So 1 is Virtua Fighter 3 TB. So you can see how the first party games, I think all 3 of these games were released together in Europe actually. Not Dino Crisis, just these 3 here. So we got MK, followed by 5-1 and the number in which the game was, so 0, 1, 2 and so on and so on. And then the digits at the end, so we've got 5-3 on Sonic and Virtua Fighter 3 TB, and we've got 5-0 on the House of Dead 2. So 5-0 it basically stands for 50 FPS, and which, you know, 50 hertz, which is what PAL region games were made to run on, as opposed to NTSC, which is 60, even though most of these do run on 60 hertz. So that's where 50 comes from, so that just means Europe. So you can see there's obviously different languages on there. So this is sort of a game that's shipped around Europe. The 5-3 is very similar, but it's just more based on UK, Germany, France and Spain. Whereas this one also has the same, but it's across Europe. Whereas I'm guessing House of the Dead 2, this is what's created to be shipped around Europe and sold around Europe, and then the 5-3 on Virtua Fighter 3 TB is just the following 4 countries. So other countries within Europe will have got a different code if that game was released in those countries. 5-3 again for Sonic Adventure, the same 4 countries on there. And then I do have, so here Dino Crisis we'll go back to, which is the third party, and the numbers there, we've got 7019D standing for Dreamcast, and 05 standing for UK. So 05 is what was shipped to UK, and I think Australia came under 05 as well. And as you can see, with 05 you're only getting an English cover, English language on the back, as opposed to all 4 languages on the others. So that's interesting. So certainly if you're doing a sub collecting or anything like that, and you want to get all the first party games first, in order and have all those numbers together. It might be a way of arranging your games or anything like that. That's sort of something interesting to go off. And obviously use that code to, in pictures on eBay, or if you see it in different shops and whatever, that'll help you identify what region it was sold in. Other regions, so I'll just name some of them out. So 06 is Spain, 09 France, 18 Germany, 60 Spain and Italy, 61 UK, Spain and Italy, 53 UK, Germany, France and Spain. And then obviously other regions such as like Japan will start completely differently. They won't have MK, I think it's like HDR and stuff. So if you're collecting PAL, that's sort of something to keep an eye out and something to be interested in. So the manufacturing code, obviously again 53, should match up with the back, where here we've got 53, whereas this bit I don't understand. I don't quite understand that part. And then we've got 53 again on the back. The GD-ROM, everything is the same until you come to the last digit. The last digit is 0, which again 50 is Europe. So that is probably the GD-ROM was manufactured to go all around Europe. It's got all the languages built into it, whereas the casing itself, well, not so much the casing, but the inlays are all slightly different depending where they're going to be shipped off. So if you are wanting to make sure your sets are genuine, that's certainly something you can look out for. It wouldn't be great, obviously, to have the regions which are mixed up. Certainly for me, very, very petty in collecting, I know, but it would be, for me, I'd be trying to get the GD-ROM to match the inserts. Okay, what else have we learned? So there's a slight difference you'll be able to see in the 4 games there. There's an odd one out as such, and the odd one out being Dead or Alive 2. It's got Dreamcast written across the top, whereas the others do not. The reason for this is just later games that were released on the system started putting Dreamcast on top, whereas the early releases, such as Sonic, Crazy Taxi and Toy Commander, they didn't have that going across the top. I was mentioning about Dreamcast written here, so again, let's get our 2 different versions. Again, we've got Dreamcast written in black ink, just printed on, and then Dreamcast sort of part with the plastic. And later games that were released on the system sort of swapped the black ink out for... Again, with helping identifying whether it's in its original case or just understanding why that is. The only difference is earlier cases that were manufactured were printed, and then later were done that way. So going back to my Dead or Alive 2 game, I can only imagine that it did have Dreamcast printed there, and it's been rubbed off, or for whatever reason, maybe there was a sticker there or someone's got to it. But like I said, the case on this is slightly different anyway, so that I'm unsure of. So more research to be done. I'm afraid. What else did I learn? So I learned that there's only a few titles which actually utilise the, obviously all Dreamcast dual cases for PAL have got a place to put your disc in the front and in the back. Comes really handy with the fact that these things just break and fall apart all the time, but there are a number of games which actually utilise this for other discs. So the list of games with multiple discs are as follows. We've got Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, which has got 2 discs, Deep Fighter, Headhunter, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil Code Veronica, Skies of Arcadia, and Stupid Invaders all have 2 discs. Shenmue and Shenmue 2 have 4, so I've got a copy of Shenmue here. So again, you can see this is a Sega first-party title. 5.1, and this is 5.9, so this is effectively the 60th game that was sort of released for the console. 50, this is a European, so we should have the other languages on the back. And then if we go and have a look through here. We've got Dreamcast written on the top. So Dreamcast written up top here. Let me just change the focus again. Indicating a later release, as well as the later release of the case with Dreamcast sort of embossed on there. I sort of hope embossed is a real word. Okay, time to be really careful now and not break this disc. So we've got double discs in here. I've not been in this game for a while. So disc 1 sitting there in the front. And then disc 2 sitting there in the back. As well as the discs, there's Shenmue and Shenmue 2 both came with 2 manuals. So there's a manual here and there's a manual in the other one as well. Like sort of two books. They were the only games to release with more than 1 manual, which is also pretty interesting. Right, let me get rid of that before I break it. Have we learnt anything else? Okay, so something interesting. If we go to, let's pick Sonic Adventure whilst it's here. If we have a look at the manual, most manuals on the Dreamcast have got coloured art on the front, but as you go through, the pages are sort of black and white. There's no colour on the pages. There is an exception for a few titles on the Dreamcast, and those titles are Deadly Skies, Evolution, The World of Sacred Device, Incoming, Pen, Rayman 2, Silent Scope, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Wacky Races, and WWF Royal Rumble. So I have a copy of Evolution here. If we open it up, have a look at the manual. Already it's beaming with colour there on the front, and obviously the back's always blue. If we look through this manual, it's not black and white, there's colour. There's lots of colour in this manual. So yeah, just another interesting fact. Again, we've not got Dreamcast written across the top, but we do have the Braille Dreamcast there. Looking at the product code, we can see it's a third party, and this was shipped around the whole of Europe, as opposed to just the UK or just UK and Spain, etc. So again, we should have different languages on the back. Okay, what else did we learn? We learned House of the Dead 2. So I've got the big box set here, which isn't very, isn't very good on the camera at all. Like this, is it? But yeah, this is the box set of House of the Dead 2 with the Dreamcast gun. The game, obviously, as shown earlier. The Dreamcast gun, the official one, was only released with the House of the Dead 2. You could start to buy them separately online, but the way when they were sort of released, the only way of acquiring an official Dreamcast light gun was by purchasing the House of the Dead 2. And the light gun was only compatible with 2 games, the House of the Dead 2 and another one which I forget the name of, but the other game didn't release with a light gun. So the only way you could get a light gun to play that game was to buy House of the Dead 2 as well, which is pretty interesting. But as time went by, Sega started releasing online the guns separately afterwards. Or obviously people traded stuff in, so you was able to get your light guns that way as well. What else did I notice? So for ages, I've been collecting different peripherals for the Dreamcast, and for ages I've wanted a fishing rod controller. And from looking online and looking everywhere, we didn't actually get an official release of the Dreamcast rod controller. There's, I think it's Mad Cats or Wildcats maybe, a third party one, which is supposedly better anyway. But at USA, they or North America, they had an official release. So looking into that, because I've seen Pete from On a Retro Tip, he's big into his Dreamcast. He actually has almost like House of the Dead 2. He's got Sega Bass Fishing boxed with a fishing controller, and when I seen that in one of his videos, so quite a while back, I was thinking, all right, so you can. There was one released over here that's official, and it turns out that it was only released in Australia. It wasn't actually released in Europe, or certainly the UK, which is quite strange, really. So they released the fishing game and rod and stuff in Australia, but nowhere else. Maybe we just preferred the third party one. I don't know. And that's it, really. So from what became a little anomaly in a manual and on the spine of the case there, it led me to think, hang on, I wanna understand this. I'm collecting Dreamcast. It's sort of my main focus. I want to understand it a bit more, and so I went out my way to try and research a bit, and that's sort of what I come up with. There are a few tubers, certainly that I follow, that have recently picked up Dreamcast or are collecting Dreamcast, and it's just something extra to understand. And if you weren't aware already, maybe you are aware now. So if you are wondering why it's black there and not on the others, you know it's because these were generally the earlier games. So yeah, there we go. So I hope you all got something from this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've explained it well enough. I don't normally do sort of videos like this, but yeah, upon finding that information, I figured I'd share it with you and see if anyone else knew about it. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye bye.